Well, I'm fired up, and I think we all are. Thank you again for coming to this year's conference. I now want to invite all of you to join us for our opening reception here at the Washington National Cathedral. Wynn Companies, my company, is proud to be the principal sponsor of the reception and to be joined by Alexander & Company, Stonehenge Capital, Commerce Bank, Alembic Community Development in this endeavor. We'll be kicking off this year's PastForward in style, and together we'll be celebrating one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal, the Historic Preservation Tax Credit. As many of you know, the federal credit is the largest investment of our government makes to preserve our nation's historic fabric. Over the past 34 years, it has created more than 2.4 million jobs. It has leveraged more than 100 billion, that's billion, in private investment. And it has transformed more than 40,000 unused buildings and underutilized buildings for new and productive uses, like we've seen earlier. It has transformed neighborhoods. It has transformed cities, including this city of Washington, D.C. 75% of the economic benefits of these tax credit projects stay on the ground in state and local communities, and the U.S. Treasury makes money from it. $1.25 on every dollar invested comes back. Not a bad deal. This is why 34 states have followed suit with their own state credit, including my home state of Massachusetts. And when it comes to the power of federal and state credits, I speak from experience. My company, again, WinnDevelopment, has utilized these programs for more residential adaptive reuse projects than perhaps any in the nation. One of my principal roles as chairman of the campaign to save the historic tax credit has been to engage my colleagues in the historic tax credit industry from all elements of the industry, architects, lawyers, bankers, contractors, to describe the need for ongoing advocacy on Capitol Hill. The historic credit's been around since '82, and it's threatened. I appreciate the strong engagement of our colleagues who have been with us before and who are with us tonight. Please stick with us. Our successes include securing resolutions supporting the tax credit by the U.S. Conference of Mayors and the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation. We are well on our way, including this week's advocacy on Capitol Hill, 1,000 meetings planned and more to come with legislative offices in this Capitol. We organized a letter of more than 500 businesses and preservation groups to the Senate Finance Committee to preserve the tax credit and keep it in any reform of the U.S. tax code. And we have published many reports documenting the impact of tax credits in communities across this country. And speaking of the tax credit, another of our important anniversaries, the National Trust Community Investment Corporation, a subsidiary of the National Trust, celebrates its 15th anniversary in the work that it does. From very small beginnings, NTCIC has become the leader in the historic tax credit industry. It has closed over 100 transactions, $1 billion of work of tax credit, equity, and debt, and the National Trust is proud of it. So thank you to everyone at NTIC, as well as their first investor, Bank of America, for recognizing the good that the historic tax credit can do. Here's to 15 more years, and 15 more beyond that, and 15 more beyond that even, by continuing supporting historic tax credits all over the country.